Hey guys, and welcome to the Coyote Local Show today, and I got one thing about the controversy on the raw food diet. So, here we go. Is it practical? Yes, is it practical? Well, if you're living in the Amazon jungle, then 100% raw food diet is for you. If you're not, then we may need to bend some rules a bit. Now, the thing about the 100% raw food diet is that in this society, you need to have a lot of freaking money because fruits and vegetables are really expensive. Now, with me, I eat mostly bananas because they're like 49 cents a pound, and that's great, so I'll eat like 20 of those a day. But I feel like we need a backup plan here, guys. So, for a backup plan, now, I know Duran Rider talks a lot about starches, and I actually think that's really the best option for most people. And I've heard a lot of stories about people who love the raw food diet but can never follow it, so they end up going back to eating chicken and McDonald's and shit like that. Because, okay, they try and then they fail. They try and they fail. Why? Because they can't freaking afford the foods. Now, with me is, I don't like to starve, first of all. So if I can't get fruit, I'm actually trying to eat a little bit more like starches such as rice and potatoes just because they're cheap. And I don't think it's the worst thing if you're trying not to starve. If you're starving, that's a problem. So in the wintertime, it's 4 degrees, nothing's really growing, so I've been having actually quite hard times. And I know I did pursue the 100% raw at one point, but in the summer it's a lot easier. It was mostly in the summer, so I would go maybe a week or two, few weeks without really eating anything cooked. But what I really didn't know is that nuts and seeds, they're actually cooked. Even if they say raw, because they go through the processing plants and they heat up, they still get somewhat cooked. And by law, some certain nuts, like macadamia nuts, have to be cooked because due to cross-contamination with other foods, spreading viruses and all that. So some things have to be cooked. So you're saying you want to be 100% raw, but you eat nuts and seeds. So what the hell are you doing there? You're not 100% raw. So that's why I said, okay, so let's make things a little more practical for people, and that's what I want to do for you guys today. Let's not criticize oatmeal and rice, because in China they eat a lot of rice. I know they eat a lot of vegetables, and they're really skinny. They're really healthy. It's when they start eating fats and McDonald's and stuff like that they start getting unhealthy. Now let's be real, guys. If you want to live healthy, a whole foods diet is totally fine. A whole foods vegan diet, I should say. I don't feel like you should be eating meat products because it's just really unethical, and I feel like that's very bad for us. But a whole foods vegan diet, being 80 to 90% raw, I think is the most doable. So that could include me eating 20 bananas a day, 500 calories of rice and oatmeal, maybe a handful of nuts and seeds, just a handful, very low. Keep low on the fats, keep low on the proteins. I think you should include some nuts and seeds even though they're cooked, because it helps to get a little bit more protein. I say for an athlete, I'm getting between 60 and 70 grams. Actually, between 40 and 60. And the highest end I ever went was like 80 grams. And that should be just because I ate a lot more. And grains, they're packed with carbs and protein, but low fat. So you won't feel sluggish. You'll still feel great if you're eating carbs. Just keep that in mind. So, well, let me tell you a story. Back in ancient Greek times, a long time ago, there was these men called barley men. And they gave them that nickname because they ate a lot of barley, which is wheat. And they would get jacked on it because, you know why? It has a lot of carbs and it has a lot of protein, low fat. It was a good energy source. So if you were starving and grains were the only way to go, don't give me this BS that I want to be 100% raw, because you're going to starve. So, what I just talked about today is something you should probably think about a little bit more. I know a lot has to do with like really following your dream into pursuing something. Like, yes, I wish I could be 100% raw, but I'm coming to terms now, it's not 100% practical. Unless you want to starve, be my guest. So if you think you're going to go 100% raw and eat high fats, lots of greens, oils, you're not going to feel as great. I guarantee it. I tried it. I think by switching to starches just to get carbohydrates, I feel 10 times better. You know, all that fat is not good for you. It's going to clog you up. It's going to make the blood thick. It's going to decrease your athletic performance, because if you have a lot of fat in the blood, it's going to, the oxygen that is being transported in the blood, it's going to get caught up. It's not going to deliver as effectively. It's going to block going into the cells. Too much fat in the blood, but it won't do that with carbs. Now, I know the thing with starches, people say and believe that it causes mucus. It does. It's not, the best. I think raw fruits specifically is the best diet. But over here on Coyote Loco, I don't like to starve. We're not starving. We're gonna live the best as we can. We're gonna live to our full capacity. Well, depending on whatever circumstances we have. So, if you're eating high fats, nuts and seeds, okay, nuts and seeds are not completely raw. If you're trying to do that, then you're not really getting, you're not progressing. You want to progress. So, high carb, fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds sometimes, greens, rice, oatmeal, do what you gotta do. The 100% raw food diet, I'd say it's not for everybody. It's very hard to get into. It's, very hard to get into. And if you have money, if you're an expert on this, then you're good. But like me, I'm poor. I'm poor as shit. So I'm gonna do whatever I have to stay healthy and not starve. So this was my video. If you like it, please subscribe. Ask me any questions. I got a lot of knowledge up in here, and if you want me to go through some of the foods I eat during the day in the wintertime, that may be good for you guys. So subscribe to these videos, and I'll see you again on the Coyote Loco Show.